Hi everyone. So as a part of the writing for and publishing in LitMax video series, today I'm going to talk about how to submit to the LitMax. I have already posted two videos in this series. The first is how you can become a published author without publishing your book just by getting your works published on LitMax. And another video is on what are LitMax and how they help in our writing journey. And you can check them both. I have given the links in the description below. In the second video, I had shared in short the process of submitting to the LitMax. And today I'll share with you all the steps of submitting to the LitMax, some ways or platforms to submit to the LitMax, and some hygiene tips in detail. So before starting the steps, let me reiterate some of the benefits of submitting your works to the LitMax, which I have already covered in my last video, the link for which I have given below. So submitting your works to the LitMax will make you acquainted with the different styles of writing. It will help you in finding your niche. It will help you get authentic readers and feedback and connect with a wide community of fellow writers. It will give you exposure to reading and more submission opportunities, and also exposure to the higher education opportunities like doing an MFA in creative writing. And finally, it will help you build your author's profile and hence get good book deals. Now I will start with the steps to submit to the LitMax. The first step is to read. Read the recent editions or issues of the LitMax thoroughly, where you're aiming to send your works and get published. This will help you understand the themes, the tonality, language, and writing style that these LitMax prefer to publish. The second is to read the submission guidelines thoroughly. Before starting to write your piece, go through the submission guidelines properly. Remember that a lot of submissions get rejected only because of non-conformity to the submission guidelines. The third step is to write a piece for submission. So after doing a thorough reading of some of the recent issues of the LitMax, see if the topic or genre in which you are trying to write fits the guidelines of that particular LitMax. Once you have some idea, simply write your piece. Fourth is to edit and review. Once you are done writing, try getting it reviewed by some beta readers, your writer friends, or a community of writers if you're a part of any such communities. Fifth is to click that submission button. So finally, once you're done with editing, reviewing, and working on the feedback from the fellow writers or the editor friends, simply submit your work once you get to know about the submission opportunity or to the LitMax for which you had written that work in particular. Now, sixth is to have patience with the response. Please understand that the editors of most of these LitMax get huge submissions from across the world, and they might take a considerable amount of time to respond to your submission, anything in between 1 to 6 months on an average. Meanwhile, have patience and keep creating more work. You can also go for simultaneous submissions, which means submitting the same piece which you have submitted before to a LitMax to submit elsewhere, provided the previous LitMax allows the same. If you get an acceptance from either of the LitMax, you will have to notify the other, as many LitMax don't accept already published pieces and there can be copyright issues as well. So you should be cautious and keep them informed about the publishing status of that particular piece. Finally, if there is an acceptance, add that to your author's profile and socials. The best way is to make a tracker of your submissions and acceptances, which will help you manage your submissions in a better way. And later you can keep updating your author's profile based on this tracker of submissions and acceptances. If there is a rejection, don't get disheartened and send that piece somewhere else where your piece fits better. You should keep reading the LitMax despite the rejections, because you can try writing a new piece and sending your piece to one of the next issues, calls for submission, or to some other LitMax. This way you will be able to work on your craft better. So keep submitting, keep trying and repeating the process. And don't forget to follow the social handles of different LitMax. Try understanding the LitMax you have chances to get your works published by becoming a part of some writing communities or groups on WhatsApp and social handles, because that's where they discuss and share calls for submissions for several LitMax. This way you will gradually understand which LitMax to pitch your works to. But remember, it takes a lot of time and patience to do that. So you will have to be mentally strong, consistent and patient with your journey. But trust me, few years down the lane, you will realize it's completely worth it. Now I'll talk about the different ways of submitting to the LitMax. Now coming to the different ways of submitting your works to the LitMax, one of the most traditional or common ways is very simple, and that is via emails. A lot of LitMax still accept submissions from writers via email. All you have to do is follow the submission guidelines of that particular LitMax and send your work accordingly. Apart from email, these days the method which is most common for submission of your works to the LitMax is submitting your works through digital submission platforms like Submittable, Dewdrop, and others. All you have to do is to create a free account on these submission platforms and then check for submission opportunities through the LitMax. You can also follow some of the LitMax that you would like to get notified about their submission calls. Now coming to some of the submission hygiene tips. So if you decide to give it a shot and try submitting your works to the LitMax, then you must have some discipline to keep the process seamless, consistent, and long term. Since a lot of LitMax take a pretty long time to respond to your submission, which may vary somewhere from 1 month, 6 months to even a year, there are high chances of forgetting which LitMax you had submitted your work to, especially if you have done multiple and simultaneous submissions. It is crucial to keep a record of where you sent your submission so that you don't end up resubmitting the same work to the same journal or magazine unless that LitMax accepts resubmission, because many LitMax don't. So in short, some of the hygiene tips are: maintain a tracker of your submissions. This can be in Google or Sheets. You can have field like name of the LitMax, submission date, contact, email ID, and status of submission, which can be ongoing, accepted, or rejected. If you do not want to maintain a tracker, then you can navigate through your submissions through platforms like Submittable, Dewdrop, and others. The features are pretty good and easy to use. Refrain from repeated submissions, as I have already clarified. Please respect editor's time and do not submit the same piece to a LitMax which you have submitted to that particular LitMax and that was rejected. Follow the guidelines properly. Most of the submission guidelines would guide you in terms of the last date, the date of submission, the journal in which the submissions are solicited, the word limit in which you need to maintain, the doc file, the response time, some sample work links of the reference, and others. So any submission which does not follow the guidelines can automatically get rejected by the editors. So hope this video was helpful and you will send some of your works to the LitMax and you will get published soon. I will upload a video on building the craft of writing an author's profile by reading LitMax. Till then, bye-bye.